Chosen released their season 4 trailer just a few minutes ago. I haven't seen it yet, so we're going to watch this video together. I'm going to share my brief thoughts, and then, Lord willing, later today I'll come back with an in-depth video breakdown of the trailer. Let's get to it.
Darkness is not the absence of light. It is more uncontrollable and sinister. You were there, waiting. Because the darkness is not dark to you. At least, not always. The coming darkness was too deep for us to grasp.
It would appear that we now want the same thing as Pilate.
Senior leaders in every district should question and expose Jesus.
I just can't stop seeing how we could be doing things faster and more efficiently.
You deserve a stipend for your specialized work. You can at least make sure that you have resources to keep the mission going.
My ledgers are in the red. I told you to make life difficult for the followers of Jesus.
It is on this rock that I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it.
Sweet.
This infernal chaos. Why can no one control these people?
What just happened to all of you? It's about to get worse.
Now that I'm here, physical death does not interrupt our eternal life.
Lazarus! Come out!
I remember you wishing there could be another way. And looking back, I do too. I still don't know why it has to be this way. The bitter often mingled with the sweet. You told us it would be like that. Was how you lived. The man of sorrows. Acquainted with grief.
All right, well, it looks like we have got a lot of stuff to look forward to. They actually showed some more stuff in that trailer than I expected them to show, right? They actually showed Jesus standing in front of the tomb and saying, Lazarus, come out. I imagine that's going to be something that happens later on in the season. And you actually got to see like a little bit of movement as Lazarus was getting ready to come out of there. And then you also got to see them grabbing palm branches, presumably to get ready for the triumphal entry, which I don't think triumphal entry is probably the appropriate name for that whole event, but we like calling it the triumphal entry. I really think it's more of the heartbreaking entry. But that's going to be probably how the whole season concludes, I imagine. And so we got to see some stuff from the end of the season. But there's really just a lot in there that I'm just surprised that they showed. And I guess that they can do that because the source material has been out for about 2,000 years. And so if it's a spoiler to you, well, then you need to hop on the train and start reading the Bible. But one thing that really kind of stuck out to me that I thought was actually pretty cool is that we know that they're going to cover the whole scene of Caesarea Philippi, right? Where, Peter makes his confession about Jesus and he says, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus says, flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father in heaven revealed it to you. You are Peter, and on this rock I'll build my church, right? So in the show, that's how Simon's going to get his new name, right? In the Gospels, it seems like he got that name earlier on, but in the show, that's how Simon's going to be called Peter, the rock. And whenever you examine the Gospels, that account is very hotly contested because people debate about why exactly, or what exactly Jesus is referencing whenever he says, upon this rock I will build my church. Is he referencing Peter, right? Is he referencing Peter the rock? That if you're a Catholic, that's kind of probably the perspective you would more likely take. And then some other people, and this is probably in the category that I would find myself, is that he is saying upon this rock, as in the confession that Peter just made, right? That Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God. Upon that rock, Jesus will build his church. But then there's a third interpretation, and this seems to be the one that the Chosen is leaning towards, is that he's actually like motioning towards this land surrounding him, and he's pointing out that this is the rock I'll build my church upon, right? Specifically because if you know anything about Caesarea Philippi, there's this whole tradition with it being the gates of hell and all that stuff. It's actually really cool. Every time you go to Israel, like, you have to talk about this because that's one of the places in the Bible where the location that they're at really does affect how you interpret the message that Jesus is saying there. And so I think it's cool how just seeing that very brief clip in the trailer, it shows you kind of where they're heading in that direction, which is pretty cool. Other than that, though, right? Obviously, for me, I just start nerding out about all the Bible stuff. It just looks like another good season, right? I will admit that sometimes I get a little bit tired of talking about The Chosen a little bit just because I've probably analyzed it so much on this whole channel. But still, every time they release a trailer for something, it gets me excited. Mainly, I think it's because the inner Bible nerd in me just starts getting excited to see how they're going to try to tie all these things together. And so I am really looking forward to this. It's going to be in theaters. I think it said February 1st. And so that will be a really exciting thing. I'm sure that we'll all go there, and I'm sure that this whole channel, we will be talking about every single episode out of the wazoo, and I'll be analyzing the heck out of it. But yeah, that just, it looked very exciting to me, and I will come back later today and I will do a more in-depth breakdown to where I'll have more to talk about. But until then, let me know what you thought about this trailer. Is it getting you excited for season 4? Do you think this looks better than the previous seasons? Are there any things in this trailer that stuck out to you that you're like, whoa, that's really cool. Didn't know that was going to be here. Or just different ways that they're, I don't know, deviating from what you might have expected. Let me know about that in the comments. Other than that, just like this video, do all that fun, fancy stuff. I'll hopefully be back later today with a more in-depth breakdown. Thank you for watching this. My name is David Tate. This is Now Let's Be Honest. Be sure to keep a smile on your face. Don't let anybody steal your joy. Remember who you are. And of course, Maranatha.